Yo, 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 yo. Las líneas que parten el mundo. Yo, el meridiano.
Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego. Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc. Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc.
En una simple frase te explicaré cómo es mi gente. Si maltratas a un carnal, te devora la serpiente. Emplumada, bien picada, desquiciada el águila real. Le arrancará la cabeza a quien dañó su nopal.
Somos un ejército cautivo esperando la señal pa' comerme al enemigo. Huitzilopochtli, dime si es rival o amigo. Que del ejército mexica tus guerreros siguen vivos.
Soy un monstruo con la pluma, mis rimas envenenadas. Hoy me llaman Quetzalcóatl, soy la serpiente emplumada. Dueño de la tempestad y del tempo está muy claro. Un diluvio de verdad, en la instrumental soy claro.
Certero en mi disparo, hilo y camino, el flechador del cielo. Pero con rima, cultura de mi tierra que nunca se acaba, con águilas y estrellas que vuelan desde la nava. Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc. Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc.
Como aquí, bro, te juro no existen dos. Si voy a creer en alguien, solo va a ser mi Dios. Yo me encomiendo a mi madre, que me cuida y me protege entre sierras. Amor de tonas y claro, sí, amor de mi madre tierra.
El que nunca falla, el de sangre maya. El que va dejando huellas al que buscan y no hallan. El que da la talla, el que triunfa y calla. Al que copian y se basan, soy el calendario maya. Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc.
El autor viene a decirnos con mucha firmeza y gran convencimiento lo mismo que nos decía en el siglo XVIII el barón de Holbach, ¿no? Un filósofo francés de origen alemán. Si nos remontamos al comienzo, entonces hallaremos que la ignorancia y el temor crearon a los dioses. La fantasía, el entusiasmo o el engaño los adornaron o desfiguraron. La debilidad les rinde culto, la credulidad los conserva, la costumbre los respeta y la tiranía los apoya para que la ceguera de los hombres sirva a sus propios intereses.
Because to this very day, we still wonder, you know what I mean? Like, well, where's the correction? Ak. That's the name of the class today. A lot of you probably don't know what this is. A lot of you know what this is. Now, for the sake of educational purposes and for the sake of cleansing our ways, um, I'm going to spell this out. Okay. So YHWH, okay? Or A, I'm sorry, IAU. The H in this case is kind of backwards. Or you'll hear me say Yahoo. So today we're going to, I don't want to say prove, because I'm not here to prove anything. I'm here to testify what what the Most High, I guess you could say, has revealed to me in my walk. I'm not saying this is correct 100. I can't put it. No, I can tell you, I can say this to you. I have never in this entire awakening of my 6 baby years, right? I never, even before, I never put thought or weight on the meaning of the name of the Most High, because I did not know what his real name was. And even though I had heard other people say his name and they said it, Jehovah, Yahweh, now we have Yahweh. I'm not, whether you believe me or not, I don't care. But even with those names in use, I wasn't sure about them. So I would always say, and you guys who talk to me know, I say the Most High. I say the Most High to keep it safe. Even when I prayed, I would say I'm talking to our God, the God of my fathers, of my ancestors, of the father of the God of my dad, who I came from. I was literally prayed that way. So to me, now that I see what I see, and when I read and when I've studied and when I actually put my mind to it and said, okay, let me see what this is about, then it was enough. So again, I'm not here to prove anything to you guys. You guys either believe it or you don't believe it, okay? But the name is Yahoo, okay? Or Yao. I'm gonna show you how this name has been kept and been hidden, and it was purposely changed for many reasons. You decide what it is. Today is education. Today is school time. All right, brothers and sisters, so you better hold on. If it resonates with you, then the Spirit bear witness. I'm not saying I'm wrong or you're wrong, and I'm not saying I'm right or you're right. What I'm saying is, this is what I see, this is what I've studied, and this is what it says, and this is what I'm gonna do. I don't know what you're gonna do, but I know what I'm gonna do. John 6:63, it says, "It is the Spirit that quickeneth." It is the Spirit that quickeneth, which relates to John 3:16 or 3 through 16. What do you mean? How can a man be born again? Well, wind goes this way, wind goes that way, nobody knows where. It's kind of like whether you believe or not. Some people are going to get it, some people are not. It is the Spirit that quickeneth. The flesh profited nothing. That's why it's like those that are born of the flesh are born of the flesh, and born of the Spirit are born of the Spirit. It is the Spirit that quickeneth. The flesh profited nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit. So I mean, every single word in these scriptures, they are spirit and they are life. Now, I used to think this was like we all typically did, because this is what Christianity taught us. Exodus 20:7. Thou shalt not take the name of thy Lord, thy God, in vain. Oh, don't use the name, like don't swear on God. Don't swear on God. No. Listen, man. Brothers, you've been lied to for a long time. That these scriptures were given to certain people because they had certain hair texture or because they had certain skin tone. Okay? And I mean that on both ends of those races. And quite frankly, then this passed way over their head. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to prove to you, at least I'm going to say this way, that Yahweh is not his name. Neither is Yahweh.YAHU.YAHU. So once again, I want to show you how we, and at least I can say we, the brothers and sisters that do understand what I'm talking about, we've been peeling away these layers of BS from One West doctrine and Christianity and Khazarism. Okay, or they call it Judaism nowadays. So anyhow, let's read it again. All right, so it says here, thou shalt not take, I'm sorry, where you at, man? That can't be, what was that? What was I at? Exodus 20 and what? Am I missing, man? Do I know? Do I really need my glasses? Where you at, bro? Come on. There he goes. Exodus, God, 20 and 7. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord, 30:68. Now we see here, and you see how this hold on, let me do this. I'm gonna show you some stuff that you need to pay attention to. Okay, so like here's the concordance, H30:68. Okay, pay attention. You see how it says Jehovah? Now the E is high, the O has a arrow up, and the A has an arrow up, defining how to pronounce these names. Yeho, you see that? Yeho, and then Va. All right, now it says self, existence, eternal. Yehovah, right? Compared to 30:50, 30:69.
Now, let me show you something real quick so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. This is from a book called The Archives of the Aboriginal Knowledge, containing all the original papers laid before Congress, yada, yada, yada. Volume 1, make sure you get that, printed 1860. Now, why am I showing this to you? Because on page 299, obviously there's more deafness to this book. I just wanted to point something out. Look, you see that name? You see the so-called Hebrew writings? You're going to see that as I'm illustrating the name of our creator. Now, who knew how to pronounce his name? We did. In the Algonquian, however, the phrase Nin Dao Yao Yaun has been rendered literally, I, the body, I am. Like I am the great power, the great spirit. You get what I'm saying? Hey, he said, I love enchiladas. Hey, family, okay. The reason I'm up like this early is because if I sleep early throughout the day, I'll have a hard time falling back to sleep. Or if I go to sleep early and I wake up too early, I'm not going to go back to sleep. So that's kind of what happened to me, bro. Like I went to sleep early. I was watching a movie. Fuck, I didn't want to go to sleep, bro. It was like 7 o'clock. Man, I fucking slept for a while. And then my daughter woke up and I'm like, and I'm upset because I didn't want to get up because I know me. But then I just couldn't go back to sleep. I'm like, oh, fucking shit. And then the first thing that came to my mind was this class. It was weird, bro. Maybe it was meant to be. You know what I mean? It's 2:30 o'clock in my time. This is why, bro, I deal with anxiety. And again, I always try to stay up all day so then I can go to sleep at night. If not, I will do this shit. And it all fucks up my schedule. The good news is that I have all the energy in the world, so it's all good. In Algonquian, however, the phrase Nin Dao Yao, Yao, has been rendered literally the body, I am. The whole question turning upon the primary meaning of the root form Yao or Yah, right? Then it says the almost exact identity of the sound of this word with the Hebrew verb to be these particular letters has not escaped the notice. So you see what I'm saying? By the way, good to have you here, man. You too, bro. Okay, so then now that we covered this particular portion, you know, I wanted to at least touch base on this because I have more material to show you as we go through this class together. Because you know what? We gotta dominate this floor, bro. We gotta let our people know exactly who they are, who the creator is, and how that name is so important to you. That's why my name technically is like too easily pronounced Joshua, but it's YAHU. YAHU, like Hosea or YAHU. Yahu is the last name. That's why it says don't use my name in vain. Like it don't matter. Your fucking last name matters to you. Like your father's last name matters to you. So does this name.
So, as you can see. Now, but it says, thou shalt not take the Lord thy God in vain. Concordance 7723. And it says, evil, literally ruin, morally, figuratively, idolatry, or as false, subjectively, uselessness right there, or false. Uselessness or false. You see, more and more I started looking at these laws and I'm like, what if he means, because we forget these things, all right? So for example, in case you guys don't know this, in every captivity, and I think you guys know this, like for example with Nebuchadnezzar in Daniel, right? Nebuchadnezzar, when he enslaves Daniel, he changes his name, okay, to Balthazar, okay. So he changes his name to Balthazar, something to that effect, all right. But if you guys realize, let's go to First Chronicles. It's in Chronicles. I'll just show you real quick. 5:26. Watch what it says here. I'll go this way. Watch what it says. 5:26 says, and the God of Israel, which is another name I'm going to tackle, stirred up the spirit of Pul, king of Assyria. Is this the one I'm looking for? I don't think that's the one I'm looking for. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on, let me go here. Or am I looking at Second Chronicles? Let me see here. Second Chronicles, maybe. Give me a second, real quick. Let me try to remember. 28, maybe. 28. No, that was Tiglath-Pileser. That's when his name changed. Let me pull this up. I'm gonna have to do a little quick Google. Give me a second. My camera doesn't want to pull up, dude. This is a problem. Anyhow, Nebuchadnezzar. Here, I'll show you this right here. Let me pull this up. Maybe I'll just show you this. Let me pull it up. I was trying to look for it at the same time, so my bad, fam. So, as you can see, I want to show you this name. Like in slavery, they change your names. You know what I'm saying? Like it happened to us, right? So, if you consider Daniel was changed to Balthazar, Daniel 4, something to that effect. Now, Nebuchadnezzar or Nebuchadrezzar. Nebuchadrezzar. So Dan, the way they would pronounce it would be Kadrezzar. It would be his last name. Or Dan or Balch Kadrezzar. Now, the reason I'm pointing this out is because names have changed. Names do change, as well as in captivity, whether they're in favor of you or not. Okay, Nebuchadnezzar favored Daniel. That didn't mean that he didn't change his name. All right, so be mindful of these things, because if we're not aware of how a king changes your name, because in that time kings were even considered gods. So when they enslaved you, you had the last name of that god, right? So now, when I start seeing these things here, and I'm like, Exodus 20:7, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, meaning useless. So now, why do I say that? Here's why I say this, okay? I have this book called um it's called, very interesting book. I'm so thankful that I found it. It's not an older book, okay? I'm not here to tell you it's a historic book, no. But it's a very interesting book because in my investigation, obviously I always like to, if something's moving me to, something moved me to look into this name, Yahoo or Yao, okay? So then it led me to believe, it led me to other things. Now, this is a good book here, family, okay? But before I go there, you guys remember this here? Do you remember hey, Shalom Julio? Do you hey Shalom Juan? Do you guys remember, if you guys can maybe give me thumbs up if you remember, please at least try to interact with me here, because I want to know if you remember some of these things so I can touch it briefly. I don't want to go deep in it. I want to stay to the name. So you guys remember, I've showed this to you guys, this name, Diodorus Siculus. If you guys recall, right? Diodorus Siculus, okay? Diodorus. Here, this is a Greek historian. I just go to like the simple, Wikipedia. I don't think they're really gonna try to pull a fast one on us on this one. He was an ancient Greek historian. Okay, now this individual here, IUIC, BH, well, any one West. Let me just say that. Let me just one West. Any one West school has used this guy. Every single one of them, and so has Pan-Africanists used this guy. Okay, so has Wabos. They've used this guy. You want to know why? Because in their books, remember, I showed you how they use this reference, right? And if we go back to the island, how they had seen an island, right? I'm not gonna read that to you guys, but remember I took you guys to somewhere over here, like 1.5, I think, 1.525 or 132, something like 119, somewhere around here. Yeah, it was right here. And that they saw an island from afar, the Carthaginians. You guys remember that, right? It was like somewhere around here. Okay? All right. Now, remember this name, Isis. I'm going to touch on it a little bit. But I want to show you this now. So this goes to all of you so-called Judites, because I know you're not, but I'm gonna say that. Because you guys say that, oh, the Most High gave us the understanding, He didn't give you shit. He didn't give you anything. That name, first of all, that you guys so-called eloquently feel like you created, was found in James the Deer, and they didn't even pronounce it right because they purposely changed it. Here's what I'm going to show you. Historically, people knew the name of our Father at that time. So now I'm going to use the same source that all of you, One West, every so-called African with an American experience, and you so-called white Europeans with an American experience.
Oh, family, check it out. This is what I mean by that, in case you guys don't know, okay? So there's this book called the Negro Jew, or I can't remember exactly, but they reference Diodorus Siculus, whatever, however you want to say it, and they justify him, claiming that, let's see, I'll read it to you. The Jew a Negro? Did the Negroes know of America? Diodorus Siculus tells us that the Phoenicians in early times sailed beyond Hercules Pillars along the African coast. Now, pause for a second. These guys are saying Jew, but they're Phoenicians, which means Phoenicians are Canaanites. You can't be Jews, meaning Hebrews or Israelites. If you're fucking Canaanites, you stupid asses. However, let's continue. It said along the African coast. And there, meeting with storms and tempests, were carried to the remotest part of the ocean. After many days, came to a vast island, a great distance from Libya, and lying very far west. The Phoenicians, once again, Canaanites, Hamites, you know, the fucking disgusting people that the Most High is so disgusted by, right? Okay, informed the Carthaginians, Hamites again, of this place, and the Carthaginians prohibited other nations from settling in it, they reserving it for themselves as a place of retirement if they should ever be driven from their native soil. So here, with this article, or this paragraph, right, you would assume that there was no humans or people there in that island. But Diodorus Siculus actually says that there was people there. These fuck faces just didn't include it. You know, typical Wabo shit. Whatever the narrative is. Because when you want to fill the gap in a mind that's confabulated, of course, it's easy money. That's why my channel don't grow, and I'm okay with that because I speak facts, not fiction. See, we're not emotional. If we're not those people, I'll call it out. But apparently, you guys don't have the huevos to do that. Let's continue.
How you guys don't know the book. It's not yours. It's not yours for you to understand, nor is the Most High going to reveal these things to you. Because it took a simpleton like me, someone so simple, you know, like the guys and the gals that you guys pass laws to. Yeah, I'm talking to you so-called Europeans here, white and black, right? You are trying very hard to get rid of people like me. So I'm going to show you something. Remember, this is they call it a reliable source, so they say. They call it reliable. Let me show you this real quick, fam. See this right here? Let me magnify this. All right. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to prove to you how people knew the name of our Father, but they stopped using it for particular reasons. The question is, are you willing to now accept it? Is it in your spirit to see it? And if it's not, then oh well. Thus, it is recorded. Now, the number is 1.94.1. Okay. And it says here, thus it is recorded that among the Aryan Zoroastrians claim that the God Spirit gave him his laws. So the Zoroastrians, okay? Among the people known as the Getae, who represented themselves to be immortal Zalmashis, asserted to the same of their common goddess Hestia. Now listen, and among the Jews, Moses, let me read it again. And among the Jews, Moses referred to his laws to the God who is invoked as IAO. So now, how do you say that? Now, us that speak Spanish, we know how to say that. Yao. Okay, that's how you say it. That is how you say that word, Yao. Almost like what you see here, Yao, but there's an H at the end. So what about that? Okay. Now, the reason I'm going here first is because this man is a prime source individual that all BHI camps love to use. And they say they're studious people. They say they go real hard on education. You can't destroy their doctrine because, you know, the Most High gave it to them. Well, the Most High didn't give you his name, fools. And it's right in front of our face. Like, for example, I always wonder why they called it Yahoo.com. I know you guys think it's funny, but when they don't want you to see something, they put it right in front of your face. So now it's because Yahoo, main source to find whatever you want, right? All knowing, so to speak. Kind of like a hint or a so-called, I don't want to use that. I can't remember the word. So I don't remember. Anyhow, so again, this is a prime source You know, all of these so-called, so-called Judites, man. They say they claim that the Most High picked them to bring the truth.
Isaiah.
What truth have they brought to you? Deuteronomy 28 does not apply to them. What truth has the Khazars brought to you? They say they're the people of the Bible, the Jews of today, but you see who they are and what they're doing. They're getting caught in shit that, damn, are you guys really the people of the Bible? Well, you can have that, God, because I don't want them. Those are facts. You can't come here and tell me otherwise. Because why? Because, again, you guys give yourselves up. We're in the season of knowing when thy skirts will be lifted up. That's why it's important. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahoo, thy God, in vain. Because every single one of us had to carry that name. Just like Nebuchadnezzar named Baltazar, because it was his slave, his servant, because he was considered a god. Since once you're a king and you're a god. Now, you guys don't understand how something so complicated can be so simple. Now, I'm going to read something to you too. I'm going to read something to you as well. Now you guys need to understand why this was given to what's the scripture at? Why this was written to us. Psalms 147:19. He showed his word unto Jacob, or Jacob, or Yahuwah, however you want to pronounce it. I don't know yet, so don't hold me to it. His statutes and his judgments unto, remember, we're going to tackle that name too, Israel, because it's actually Ishiyahu. That's why when you read this right here, okay, when you read this right here in Hosea 2:16, you wonder why. It shall be at that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, that thou shalt call me Ishi, and shall call me no more Baal Li, or Baal, or El, Baal. It's the same concept, family. But if you put Ishi and Yahoo, it's Ishi Yahoo. Now, I know I'm not jumping ahead. I'm showing you things, not in advance. I'm taking you forward and pulling you back. I'm taking you forward. I'm pulling you back. Now, if there's any frenemies that would like to jump on board here and eloquently suggest that I got Yahweh, no, sorry, I'm not trying to make fun of the name of our Father, but that is not the name of our Father. And you say it as if you are like 100% sure of that name, which you never created. The Most High never gave it to you in a dream. You read it in a book, which came out of the white man. Now, I'm deciphering these things. They're saying, hey, they're not use this name no more. Watch, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. There's a difference between you accepting things and not dissecting, or saying, you know what, Father, we might just be onto something. Now, this is on page 24. Remember the book, The Invention of God. All right. So let's read a little bit. Let me see if I can magnify this a bit. Let me see. Oh, hold on. Can I magnify this? Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. Boom. Here it goes. Let me do one more here real quick. Trying to make sure it's okay. Cool. It's visible. All right. Sounds good. Okay. Let's begin. Let's start reading. The God of it. Now I have to go back here. So I'm gonna read a few pages. It's like only 2.5 pages, but it looks longer because it's a digital page, right? So I want to get to this point here. But anyhow, let me hurry up. All right, hold on a second. It says here, if we look at the translation of the Bible in English and other languages, we find various expressions used for the God of Israel, such as the Lord, the Eternal One, or in certain Catholic Bibles, Yahweh. Does God then have a name? And why is there a prohibition in Judaism about pronouncing his name? And those are facts. There is one. Okay, just like there's a prohibition about not DNA don't count. But there's laws that says you can't do that. Like you can't seek his name. Find out. In order to clarify this question and explain why, in what follows, we use transliteration YHWH to designate the God of Israel. We must start our story at its end, and at the point in time when the Hebrew Bible did it already exist as a collection of holy books. This anticipation will allow us to answer a question that might appear to be merely technical, but it is actually also extremely important that the question of the name of God, I'm sorry, important, the question of the name of God, a question that has left a profound mark on Judaism and subsequently on Christianity and Islam. Very true. Because they have what's called, like Islam calls them Allah, but funny, if you put Kaab in front of it, what do you get? Kaab Allah or Kabbalah. You decide. The enigma of the name. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Both the Hebrew and the Christian Bibles open with a well-known statement. In the first chapter of Genesis, God, quote unquote, has no proper name. This might seem completely unsurprising if we assume that the Bible is a monotheistic book. If there is only one God, why would he need a proper name? Now, upon a closer inspection, however, we encounter our first surprise. The Hebrew word that is translated as God / Elohim has a plural ending and could also be translated as the gods, which we know. Now, one God or several gods, the same word, it may express both the singular and the plural, and only the form of the verb indicates which is intended. This ambiguity may perhaps be intended to prevent us from making a firm decision on one of these possibilities to the exclusion of the other. Could the author perhaps be suggesting that the one God substance subsumes in himself a diversity of gods? So he's kind of like in question here, okay? Now, let me skip all of that and then go here. In most Catholic Bibles, okay, and also in some Protestant ones, the narrative relates what the Lord did. Okay. Now it says in other Bibles, his this became a narrative about what eternal one or the eternal one did. And still others speak about a God called Jehovah. Now, let me pause right there. I again never put much thought to things like names and sort of stuff like that. But then, you know, you gotta you gotta wonder, man. You gotta wonder what what because I mean, if they've been lying to us about one thing, what makes you think they haven't lied to you about almost everything? I'm not saying don't believe anything, but I'm not saying don't believe anything or everything either. Check this out. So the name is Jehovah, and we're gonna find out where that name came from in a little bit. Okay. So the first picture I have is this acronym in what they believe. Okay. Remember Jehovah. Remember the acronym YHWH. But the way that they understand it is YHVH. Yod Hey Vav Hey. Okay. Now check this other picture out. And this was even worse, even more. Again, I'm so thankful that I have the scriptures because this affects a lot of people. Yehovah, Jabul, on whatever. Triangular plate commonly used in English Royal Arch chapter. Jehovah. Anyhow, let's continue. Then it says, although it is not at all evident, it says, right? From the translation themselves, these terms are fact rendering of the same proper name, the precise pronunciation of which is mysterious to us. Why? So here's what we're going in, okay? So watch this. When scribes began to write down the text that much later were to be put together to form the Bible, they wrote only consonants. Now, what are consonants? Let me show you what consonants are. Okay, consonantal. Sorry, consonantal meaning. Consonants mean a basic speech sound in which the breath is at least partly obstructed and which can be combined with a vowel to form syllable, contrasted with vowel. Okay, so in case you guys don't know what a consonant means, beginning in an agreement or harmony. One of a class of speech sounds S, P, G, N, L, S, R. So the way that you pronounce certain words, certain letters, I'm sorry. Okay, so those are consonants. All right, so now it says here, when scribes began to write down the text that much later were to be put together to form the Bible, they wrote only consonants, just as is the case today in modern Hebrew or Arabic, languages which purely consonantal alphabets. In versions consisting only of consonants, the proper name of God appears in Genesis 2, and then very frequently in subsequent passages written YHWH. And these four letters are the origin of the term tetragrammaton, okay, which is used to refer to the name of God of Israel. Only much later, between the 3rd and 10th century of the Christian era, did the learned Jews call, here's a point, called the Masoretes. The Masoretes. So these people right here, or somebody calls them something to Mazorites, I believe. Mazorites, the Bible. Hey, who were the Masoretes, right? I'm just briefly, real quick. And I'm not going to get too much into it. But these guys had something to do with the selecting of certain words. Now, are they the people of the book? I don't know. But I find it so interesting because even back then we knew that there was infiltration. Now, check this out. These did learn Jews called the Masoretes, an Arabic word meaning guardians, elaborate systems of vocalization to ensure the correct pronunciation of the sacred text. Now, I believe, me personally, that these are not like Herod's people that already were infiltrating, okay? Because of the way that they go about hiding these things. Watch. Finally, one of these systems that they developed by the family Ben Asher succeeded in establishing itself as a standard one. Now, check this out. Here's the point. To illustrate this procedure, imagine an English word written like GLLWS. We would easily recognize that word was gallows. Yeah, I guess you could say that. And so we could represent what the Masoretes did as adding vowels like this. Gallows. Remember, I showed you Jehovah, and it had the E high. Here it's showing G, and then the A in the bottom. Right? These are the vowels, the A and the O. So gallow. Here is showing no A, no O. So these are consonants, and these are vowels. So by the pronunciation of the consonant, they added the vowel, right? That was their intent. A written expression like FCLT could be vocalized in at least two different ways: faculty or facility, right? In certain cases like this, therefore, the Masoretes had to make a decision about the meaning they wished to attribute to the word or phrase. For the proper name of God of Israel, and again, that's also in question, they encountered a problem. Starting in the 3rd century, pay attention, Judaism, remember that name. And that's what we're dealing with to this day. Revelation 2 and 9, or actually in this case 2 and 9. is who is doing this to this very day. This prohibition is already attested in the translation of the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible, into Greek, where one finds in place of the tetragrammaton YHWH either the word theos, God, or in most cases, Kyrios, Lord. So now we start seeing in the translations after the Greek, no longer YHWH as much, now more it's God or Lord. Now here's why. There are several reasons for this prohibition. Prohibition. Remember back in 1539, 1533, or around those times when they came here, they prohibited anybody from printing any type of Bible for us. They destroyed all of our codices, history, our buildings, all our history, everything about us, forced us to only learn 5 things that pertain to the Christian compendium. Ave Maria, Padre Nuestro, Credo, 10 Mandamientos, that's it. No scriptures. And the last thing they wanted for you to know was the name of God. The name of our Father, Yahweh, or Yahu, the way it's pronounced. Some of you guys will read it as Yahweh if you put the H silent. Well, let's continue. There are several reasons for this prohibition. Within the framework of a monotheistic view, it is inappropriate for the one God to have a proper name. Because if he had one, this might suggest that there was some need to distinguish him from other gods. Well, we know scripturally that the Most High said, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." So I'm not sure what they're talking about. I don't know if they mean it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. Exodus 20:3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. I think what they're talking about is idolatry. That means idolatry. But hey, maybe it went over your head. Anyhow, of course, and remember the scriptures in Psalms 82, ye are gods, but you will die as men. Just saying. Of course, it was also thought important to discourage magic. Okay, so here's that whole tunnel situation, fam. Here's a whole Khazar, evil, Kabbalist, Talmud, Mishnah, Zohar, evil users. You guys criticize the so-called New Testament, but yet you study the Talmud, the Mishnah, the Zohar, the Kabbalah. You study all of those, but you're quick to jump on New Testament. Shut your asses up. Y'all are stupid. Anyhow, here's what you guys did. Remember, family, and I always looked at it as funny. Here's what they said. Of course, it was also thought important to discourage magical practices in which the name of God might be used. What? Why would you be able to use the name of our Father in an evil manner? It would never happen. So, makes me think, okay, now this is getting really interesting. One of the 10 commandments, in fact, demands, thou shalt not take the name of thy God in vain, which can be interpreted, of course. Remember, what is it? Hold on. Just came to my mind. Hold on. Let me not blur it out. Give me a second. Yeah, here it goes right here. Psalms 15:16. But unto the wicked God saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Seeing thou hateth instructions and casteth my words behind thee. You see this? You see this what I'm saying? You see this what I'm talking about? So that's why here we're like, thou shalt not take the name of thy God in vain, which can be interpreted. You don't know. You'll never understand these things. As placing an interdict in the magical invocation of God. Why would you assume? See, you only assume that because you're doing it. And not even saying his name properly, so we know why. It seems clear that this prohibition of pronouncing God's name was imposed gradually, but progressively. Watch this. I'm not lying. In the Mishnah, what? In the Mishnah? What the hell does the Mishnah have to do with the scrolls? So when do they matter? When do they hold precedent over the Bible? Oh, in the Krishna? Why are you running to the Krishna? Who cares what it says? But let's continue. In the Krishna, the collection of the rabbinical interpretative texts from the 1st and 2nd century of the Christian era, we find the idea that the high priest may pronounce a divine name on the Day of Atonement, okay? Whatever they say, Yom Kippur or whatever, in the Holy of Holies, the inner sanctuary of the temples, based on the Mishnah treatise Yoma 6.2, I guess. I don't know what that is. And Sakari, stop studying this stuff, man. I don't know. You guys ain't learning shit. It's just messing your head up. This was perhaps a practice current in the late decades before the Temple of Jerusalem was destroyed. Remember, in 70 AD. Now, a Samaritan tradition states that the high priest transmits the pronunciation secretly to his successors. Thus, the Masoretes found themselves confronted with a huge problem when it came to writing the divine name. They could not change the consonants YHWH because the consonantal text was considered sacred and invariable. At the same time, they could not introduce the vowels that would have permitted a pronunciation of the divine name because that would have been contrary to the developing theology of Judaism, Khazarism, right? Okay, now hold on. So in order to have the possibility of correcting good consonantal text, they invented, hold on, they invented a distinction between Ketiv, what it written, or Kire, or Keri, whatever, what is to be read. You see, kind of like, as lo que hagas, do as I say, not as I do, I guess. Having done that, they then applied the tetragrammaton, right? I'm sorry. They then applied to the tetragrammaton the vowels of Idone. Now, if you say Aoa, or Adone, my Lord, which is in fact probably a plural form, in order to indicate that one was to pronounce the word Idone when the text contained the name God, YHWH, this resulted in the form found in biblical manuscripts. So that's where you see the YE, right? Let me magnify this a little bit. Let me see if I could help you guys out. Hold on. Watch this. All right. So we're over here on the right side. It was then a mistake to try to pronounce. Oh no, here it goes. This resulted in the form found in biblical manuscripts. That's why you see ye and then wa or ye wa, right? Yahweh. That's where you get these baboons, and I'm not talking about like like the way they look. I'm sorry, like dummies, like goofy fools. That's Yahweh. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh. Shut up. You're not. Well, I'm not gonna just generalize all across the board, but based on your spirit, Canaan, you're not. Most of you guys are not. What you want me to tell you? Here's more. Depending on which manuscript one consults, this substitution corresponds to the replacement of YHWH with Kyrios, Lord, in the Greek Bible. It was then a mistake to try to pronounce YHWH by using the replacement vowels of Adonai, which had been introduced in the text by the Masoretes. So, as you can see, a lot of these BHIs are of the branch of Masoretes and inserting these vowels between the consonants. Okay? However, of the tetragrammaton, this error resulted from a failure to understand this scribal practice. No, it's because you are not the people of the book. It was never given to you. The name was never given to you. It produced the pronunciation that the Dominican friar Raimundo Mari in the 13th century rendered as Jehovah. Because remember, in German, the W is V. Vermin, and it's a W. Jehovah. This form was then produced extensively in translation of the Bible and persists especially among the Jehovah's Witnesses. In Judaism, one also finds another replacement used in addition to Adonai, namely as Hasem.
As you can see, the actual V was later brought in. YAHU.YAHU.YAHU, right? We'll just stay to that. Wa. Obviously, when you translate that and you use that W, it's the Va. Now you understand what Jehovah, that's not the name of the creator. Well, I'm gonna still keep proving the point, because this has to be engraved in all our gente, especially against this fucking naiveness or ignorance or just stupidity or just fucking people that want to, I don't know, man, make money from you. Because I think BHI is all about feria, homie, straight up. They don't fucking talk to you guys about the scriptures or your history, and then don't say, hey, here's my merchandise, buy my merchandise, look at my shirts, look at my cologne, look at my oils, look at my you know what I'm saying? Like, that's all it's about. It's not about the history. It's about making money from y'all. Tell me one BHI camp that doesn't fucking ask you to buy some shit for them. Yeah, I used to PK, what's his name? Captain Taserface and shit. He got embarrassed by a Christian not too long ago. Hopefully I don't forget to show it. GMS, IUIC, like all these other stupid camps, bro, they want to make money from you. They give you scripture, but then they say, buy my hat, buy my shirt, buy my cologne, buy my arm bracers. You guys realize that those arm bracers that IUIC was flossing, they have that design because of me. I created that shit in that school when I was there. I'm telling you, and that's a fucking fact. No one can take that shit from me. No one. That's a fucking fact. Let's go.
Name, right? And this name is used also by Samaritans. For this reason, some scholars have suggested that the vowels used to create the substitute for YHWH are actually those of Aramaean Sema. But for various reasons, this is not plausible. So the most probable view is that the first form of vocalization used the vowels of Adonai, but that certain Jewish scholars who had come to mistrust the Septuagint, right, the Greek translation, especially in the view of the Christian appropriation of Kyrios in the New Testament to refer to Jesus, decided to use the name in place of YHWH. Watch this. Let me skip here. I'm gonna go here. Curiously, despite the prohibition, the biblical text retains some traces. YHWH, YHW, or YH. All right? Retains some traces. Here it goes. Of the pronunciation of the divine name. In addition, to the Tetragrammaton, YHWH, the Masoretic vocalization, which goes back to the substitute Lord, there are numerous authentications of the short form YHW. Watch this, which is found particularly in theophoric pronounced names. That is, like, for example, Belteshazzar or Nebuchadnezzar. Names, okay, that is names constructed with an element derived from the name of the God of Israel, such as Yirmi Yahoo. I'm you know who I am, which means Jeremiah, or in a sense, Isaiah, Yeshayahu. Remember remember IAUH? There we just see IAH. Yisa, right here, Yahoo. Or Yirmi Yahoo, like this. But we're not seeing it in that sense. We're seeing it here. So in this case, like Yirma Yahoo. Yirma Yahoo. Yes, Isa Yahoo. Yeho Nathan. Yahoo Nathan. Here's another one. Like Gadaliah, Gadaliahu. Or Nehemiah, check this, Nehemiah. Now, what does that sound like? like the prime minister in Israel, Netanyahu. These are the same people that are saying this is not a word of the Most High. So watch this. So then, and so forth. This suggests that the short form of the divine name was pronounced Yahu or Yaho, right? Yahu or Yaho. To these two forms, Yahu or Yao, should be added third as Yah. You see what I'm saying, family? For example, which is found primarily in the liturgical exclamation of Hallelujah. Hello? Right? Now, are you guys?
Hold on a second. Remember, I brought this out from the book that I have in James Adair. If you guys ever read James Adair, it literally expresses that. Let me see if I can find at least one page that says that. Hold on. Do I have it? Let me give me a second, fam, because I have to show this to you guys. I have to show this to you. They were talking about MESHIACHA, like real interesting pronunciations. Hold on, I think I have it right here. If not, I'll continue and then I'll show you guys real quick. Here it goes, right here. Oh yeah, I got it. 1, 2. Let me try to see. 1, 2, 4. Here it goes. Watch this real quick. So that hallelujah, right? They never heard that before until here. They had no idea what that meant until they got here. They didn't even know what you were singing until we explained it to them. And then they found out the name of the creator. So here's, like, for example, one page. Let's see, where is it at? No, this is probably the, oh no, here it goes right. There it goes right there. It goes right there. You see that? This is from James Adair book, okay? The History of the American Indian, page 114. And you see YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU, so-called YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU. But they don't know what they're really listening to, right? You know what I'm saying? So we also have to be mindful. It's like the first time you hear a language, you're not gonna fucking know what they're really saying. It's like when I first heard English, it sounded like ya rah 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 rah. For real, bro. But here you go, YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU YAUH.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU. YAUH.YAHU.YAHU. With much energy. Then it says Meshi, right? That's your name, fam. MESHIACHA, anointed. Meshi, yo. Then it says Meshiwa. Likewise, Meshiha, yo. Then etc. and all that. Meshiwahi, transponding to Yahweh. And they heard this at the end. I don't know how they might have interpreted, but they heard the at the end for some reason. But Yahweh. It almost seems like it's kind of like followed up with it. Now here it goes right here. Hallelujah. Shailuwa. Shalawa. That's why these fuckers say, oh, we deciphered this. Man, shut up, fucking Canaan. Y'all didn't teach nobody shit. Shalawa, Meshiwa, Meshia, yo. You know what I'm saying, yo? You don't even know how to fucking say these things, man. You don't even know how to speak. You don't even know how to say the actual. I'll give an example. The language Nahua is Yahweh. You get what I'm saying? Nahua. Or if you say it, if you say it right, Nahua, it's almost like Yahweh. You see what I'm saying? It's too close, bro. It's too close, man. This is not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. This is your fucking history. This is your book. This is your name. This is your father. He chose you. He gave you everything that I've been sharing with y'all, bro. Sometimes I'm like, man, what is it going to take? What is it going to fucking take, man? You guys want to see fucking aliens coming down from the sky and that's the only time you're going to fucking believe in shit? Like, you really believe in shit like that? It won't be aliens, I'll tell you that. It'll be from shit.
Understanding where this is going, right? Let me get ready real quick. There's a whole theology behind the name. Aha. A sign that don't know him. It's true, my brother. Because look at this. Yah. Right? Now, we were only missing one piece. Alleluia. Yahu. Yahu. Which is why when I go back to, remember, let's not forget, this is from Diodorus Siculus, a prime source that every single one Westerner likes to use and say, I know the Bible. You don't know crap. You don't even know the name of the Father. You're over here going by belief systems because some dude dreamed of it. I saw a dream and I created the 12-track chart. Oh, I saw a dream and I saw Yahweh. Shut up. 1.941, it says here that among the Jews, Moses referred to his laws to the God who is invoked as Yah or Yah or Yah or Yahu. You see that? IAO. IAO. If you don't know Spanish, you would say IAO. Well, what does that mean? Sorry, it ain't given to you. There's reasons for slavery. Some of us were more enslaved than others. Right? That's what here goes. Yao. You would have never seen it. So you Canaanites, that's why you don't know the Bible. And I keep reminding you guys you don't, but yet all of a sudden you're here. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that, and you know what? That's I thought that, but again, I didn't put a lot of weight on it because there was something in me. I'm like, I don't know, man. I just don't know. I just don't know. But again, I'm not trying to convince nobody. When this brother that I communicate with, when he showed me that, or I saw it, I'm like, oh, damn. For some reason, that caught my attention. I cannot tell you why. I'm not trying to believe in things. But this here, this IAUH, caught my attention. Because I had read that Yahoo thing right there. Watch this. So now I'm going to bring you, again, I'm going to take you forward, and I'm going to take you back. Take you forward, and I'm going to take you back. So you'll see what I'm talking about. You see, I don't lie in this channel. We don't lie. In this channel, we don't lie, man. We take it for what it is. The lost tribes, a myth. We're not like Nate the robbery snake from IUIC. Hey, man, you can get it any day. You and your little tribemen. Give me the best one. I'll confound them just in chapter 8. I wouldn't even leave chapter 28. I'll confound them all day, every day. But I know you guys are not. Because you know why they don't mess with me, family? I'm going to tell you why, man. They know the Most High is dealing with me. That's why. They know that. And that's why they're afraid. That's why they're afraid. This is from The Lost Tribes of Myth. The same book, family, the same book that Nate the Snake Roberts loves to use. Oh, yeah, we got these maps right here. It's the same book. Look, I'll show you. Watch, I'm going to show you. It's the same book. I ain't bullshitting y'all, man. Same book, man. The same book they use. I'm using their books. I'm using your material, Canaan. And I'm embarrassing you. It's from the book you like to read, Nate the Snake. You like to go there. You don't show your little cavemen. No, you don't show them. But this is where you like to go. And you like to quote a Khazar and tell your people that the Khazars supposedly drew a map for you, and all of a sudden, yeah, whatever. So now check this out. This is from that book in the last page references, like names, right? So check this out, family. Look at this crazy stuff. So Yahoo, right? Name not known in patriarchal times. Page 475. Page 561. Names compounded with Yahoo, not known before David. 35, 175, 231, 568. Genesis derives the cult from the east. Page, you see the pages. Name Yao in the ancient cuneiform. Varied orthography occurs in the Khazad period in Babylonia. Now, this book here, The Lost Tribes a Myth, okay? The Lost Tribes a Myth, PDF. Let's look into it real quick. Let's look at page 30. Is it? Oh, it's backwards. What? Bro, what the fuck? Oh, it's backwards. Let me try a different one. I don't know why you would do that, dude. Here it goes, right? There you go. Let me borrow it real quick. All right, so page here, let me put it here. No, bro, move out the way, yo. Just for a second. Let me move out this thing. All right, check this out, family. So we hear this here, page 35, Lost Tribes of Myth. You see? I'm not lying to you. This is the book he uses. I think he's like on page 246 or something. Hold on. Bro, what the fuck is that? There it goes. See? Oh, wait, hold up. Where's the map? I don't want you to think I'm lying here. Let me see. Is it 246? Oh, my bad. 256. Bent up.
I think, fam, the pronunciation is Yahweh, Yahweh, like that. Yahweh. It's almost like a silent A. Like, for example, when you breathe, like that, you know. So Yahweh. It's almost like a silent A with. It's weird, man. It's like Yahweh. Yahweh. Let's continue.
Hold on. Maybe almost there. Okay, here goes. So see, this is the book he uses. As you can see, he likes to tell his people, look, we're here. He doesn't like to read this page. It totally like destroys the shit. But anyways, that's not what I care about, you know, because we're here in this last page over here. I'm not over this last page. As you can see, I'm not BSing you guys. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can get this book. A little bit more. There it goes right there. There it goes right there. Look. See? There it goes.
Maybe the best way is it's saying it Yahweh, like that. Yahweh. Yahweh. So Yahweh, some people say Yahoo. The best, I mean, like the easier pronunciation is Yahoo because obviously people have a hard time saying it. But if you read Paleo the way it's supposed to be read, it's Yahweh, Yahweh, like that. Yahweh, Yahweh. Somebody can try to correct me, but I think I'm very as close as it can be. Yahweh. All right, let's continue.
Goes right there. Yahoo, right? As you can see, for yourselves, it's this book. I'm not lying. It's this book. Okay. So now we're gonna go to page 35 real quick, and then we're gonna take you back and forth. Okay, I'm gonna take you back and forth. There's a lot to learn, and I'm not trying to be here, to be honest, all night. I know you guys got your Sabbath going on and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I got you. Tomorrow I got my moon class, so hopefully you guys can attend. Maybe you'll learn something. Maybe you won't. Page 35. It says here. Watch this. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I'll show you. All right. So this is what I mean. You don't read from left to right. You read from right to left. So, but when you read from right to left, you still start from left to right. You see what I'm saying? So you start from right to left, but you read from. I'm sorry. You still start from. Yeah, you still start from right to left, but you still read from left to right. Like you don't forget that. So it's both ways. Like for example, the Westerners just went straight left to right, and that's it. What these guys are saying is that you go right to left, but you still need to left to right read. So we start from here, and then it says Yad Ha Waha. You see what I'm saying? Yad Ha Waha. Yahawaha. So when people, but remember, keep in mind that when you hear a new language, it's so fucking weird. You know, la gente no va a entender esa madre, güey. This is our language, so it's not hard for us to pronounce that shit. Yahawaha, right? For other people, like Yahawa, like they ain't gonna sound the same. You can already tell they're foreigners and shit. Yahawaha. That's what it technically the best closest way you can say that. You know, see what I'm saying? Yahawaha. That is the name of the creator. That is the true name of the creator. Not Yahweh. Not you know what I'm saying? None of that Yahweh or no, hold on. Yah or Yeshua or none of that shit. None of it. Understand how Paleo Hebrew works. Okay? I'll show you another page. You can see. Okay? Look. That is the first letter from the right, but you have to read it from left to right. You read it. You start from the right side, but you read from the left. Yad ha wa. Yad ha wa. You see what I'm saying? It's not. I don't want to say it's not complicated. I'm not trying to sound like all that fucking know. I don't know, man. But stuff comes easy for me. At least I can say this, bro. I learned how to speak English in like a fucking year. I came here when I was 7 or 8 years old, bro. And I speak partly better English than a lot of motherfucking bastards that voted for Trump. Like so-called American cholo. That fucking bastard. Bro, listen. You need to go out there and start like really working for like ICE. You're a piece of shit, bro. You're like the lowest of the lowest. I hope to God he don't got no mercy on your ass. You have no idea what's happening to our people, man. You have no idea what's happening to our people. Fuck all you motherfuckers that voted for Trump. And no, you know what? If you're a white guy and shit and you hate us, no, go ahead, dude. Yeah, be you, right? But our people who voted for that piece of shit motherfucker, bro, y'all disgusting. I don't have no mercy on you, bro. I hope to God he punishes you severely. Anyways, so we start from here, right? If the name is going that way, but you still have to read each letters from left to right. So Yahu. You get what I'm saying? Let's go.
We go here. I'm going to magnify this to be on page 35. There you go, right there. Okay. So it says here, a first contrast is presented by the assertion that Yahoo was a god not known to the Israelites' forefathers. In Exodus 3:13 and 6:3, it is definitely stated that the Israelites do not know Yahoo. That patriarch did not, either in Ur or in Haran or in Palestine. Okay. They're arguing against it. But again, I find it funny that arguing against it so much, but yet Netanyahu, who is a Khazar, has that name. Yeah, I'll show you. Prime Minister of Israel. Netanyahu. Now, if you see Nehemiah, okay, sorry, I don't want to change that. But if you see Nehemiah, it's technically Netanyahu or Netanyahu or Netanyahu. So it's like they're arguing like, oh, nobody knows that name. We don't know that name. No Israelite knows that name. So why do you guys still carry that name? Why do you use that name? I'm telling you, family. Now it says.
Hold on a second. Wait, hold on a second. He told everyone to vote for Trump just to send the message to the left? What message? they were going to deport probably half the people that Trump would be deporting, but without all this ruckus. You get what I'm saying? See, this is why I fucking hate. Matter of fact, bro, I don't know why you guys keep listening to that piece of shit, 5 foot, whatever the fuck Honduran he is. You know, as a matter of fact, bro, they're deporting people based on their fucking accent. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna say this to you, bro. Lintero, that you're listening. I appreciate you, bro. Raza doesn't like me sometimes because I don't speak like, oh, hey, what's cool, Holmes? Like, whatever. Like, man, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes Raza does that to me, bro. Because I speak the way I speak. You know what I mean? And it's funny to me, bro, that they're pulling people over and they're asking for their papers. And then they're listening to the way they're speaking. And then they're saying, show me your papers, fucker. Show me your papers, fucker. Why? Because you have an accent from the same fucking Border Patrol that has a fucking accent too. And you know what's so funny, brother? I wasn't even born here. I came to this country when I was like 7, 8 years old with parents that did not know no English. So all my household was always speaking Spanish. So for me to learn English was not easy, but I learned that shit quick. And guess what? If they were to pull somebody over based on accents, it would be him, that fucking Honduran who claims to be a cholo. And then to make it worse, an American. What the fuck? So, you know, that I wanted to pause, bro, seriously, man, because that is like really deep in my spirit right now, because I have family members that have suffered from that shit, you know, and I don't do these classes in vain, or I don't do these classes and I have nothing to do with that shit, bro. Like, fuck that shit, bro. Fuck people like him, bro. Oh my God. If I had a chance to debate that piece of shit bastard, I would embarrass him in front of all his 100 and fuck faces that follow his ass.
It says here, the statement is supported by the fact that long ago pointed out by the Professor Gray that personal names compounded with Yahoo seemed non-existent in the earlier days of Israelite in Palestine. Yet we saw the other book that said, not one of the hero judges bears such a name. There's none in the Numbers compilation. Only the grandson of Moses, who founded the sanctuary in Dan, and so named Jonathan, like Yahunatan, Judges 18:30.
Hey fam, if you guys just showed up, because I saw a few people show up, we're going through the name of the creator. Okay? We are identifying the actual pronunciation, not just by assumptions, but with historical documentation and using the scriptures as well. Stick around.
You see that? Only the grandson of Moses, who founded the sanctuary at Dan, is so named Johannatan or Jonathan. Why did they relate Jonathan to Yahoo? Yahoo seems not popular outside of Moses' family and associates. But the Aramaic name Shaddai was known to the Arameans for bear. Though in these mingled Exodus stories, Moses is represented as saying that Yahoo is a god known to some of the people called Hebrews. Watch this. The identity of some of these people does not appear from the passage in which Yahoo, a god of the Hebrews, repeatedly demands that Israel be allowed to go 3 days' journey into the wilderness to sacrifice. He gives several scriptures. Okay, the literary critic may urge that the term Hebrews here points to late post-Aselic compilation. That would simply imply that Yahoo was not a god of the Israelites of the time, and that he was.
Hey, brother, you know what the worst part is about that shit? You know what the worst part is? That my Spanish is probably better than his fucking English. O sea, yo no nomás hablo inglés, güey. O sea, hablo español también. Y como digo, mi español yo creo que es mucho mejor que el inglés que él habla, güey. Y él nació aquí, cabrón. Y yo no nací aquí. You know what I'm saying?
Sad. The god of some element of the mingled people absorbed by later Israelite kingdom. It's funny, you know what I mean? It's like, well, it's not. I mean, it's not really a name, but I'm not saying it's not there, but maybe it was, but it's because they hung around with the wrong people. There are some Israelite congregations that are not of the one West school of thought that pronounce the name this way also. Which one? Yahoo or Yahweh? If they have it right, well, I'll pray, man. All glory, bro. All glory. Maybe they're doing it right. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't want to like put a brush on everybody. But my experience, my history experience doesn't tell me that like they believe all of them. No, it's like me saying all Hispanics are Hebrews. I don't know. Hell no, it's not true. But the term Hebrew is not. Here's the problem, though. But the term Hebrew is not nowhere contrasted with these Palestinians, among whom Yahoo was a mountain of inheritance. My mountain of inheritance, Yahuwah. Ah, well, that's another way. Yahuwah. That's another way too, right? But again, the importance is the pronunciation. Never not taking his name in vain. So if you guys, again, I'm not a pro. Forgive me, and I'm not saying I am. But here's so far what I have, and I'm going a little further into it. I'm trying to balance a little bit of my life here because I do have other stuff that I need to study for work too, not just my this. So it's the Paleo Hebrew, right? So if you see this here, it's YAHUWYAH, 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 or YAHUWYAH, or like Yahuwah, like how you have it. You see what I'm saying? So what I find is IAUH Yahoo. It's like the H at the end.
Hold on, sir. I gotta give you that. Hold on. No. You know what? Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm not saying that shit around here, dog. Hold on.
Fuck that puto. Fuck that puto.
It's how was shy.
It's not silent. It's a rough, and then it's Shea. Like they like when you read James Adair, they would say Yahushia, Yahushe, Yahushe, Alleluia, or ooh, something to that effect. So when you see Yahushe or Yahushea, that's the Mashiach, so to speak. The name here is Yad Ha U, Yad Ha U. Now, if you go Yad IAD and then Ha and then UAU, so it's Yad Ha. You see what I'm saying? Again, I'm not a pro, and I'm not saying, hey, believe what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. But it's like Yahoo. Las verdaderas palabras de Yahu.YAHU.YAHU. Yahu Anan, Moray, no. All right. So now, again, that's other stuff. Now, let me continue reading. Oh, go back. But it seems clear to me that this name, for some reason, they want to argue against it. I don't know why. If it's not of importance, why even waste your time on it? A hereditary sanctuary in Exodus 15:17, the Yahoo worshiping Hebrews are then some element of the above named peoples. So now, again, we're going back to the picture. And I don't want to touch too much on these pages because they're all just speaking of. Now, there's one page I want to show you. Hold on. Give me a second. Which one was it? Page 35? Is it 235? Hold on. Give me a second real quick. Let me see if I can find it. I don't remember if I highlighted the book. Oh, 231. Okay, so check this out. Now I'm gonna show you this real quick from the book here. I'm gonna go to page 231. All right, hold on. Khazars. Very interesting book. Here it goes right here. All right. So watch what it says in this page. It says, I'll read it in this piece point. This second paragraph. Okay. It says, then before inference, I'm sorry, then before inference are made from the occurrence of Yahuphoric names, we must remember that Yahoo was not known to the early Hebrews, okay, nor to the early Israel, Exodus 6:3, and should not be expected in the early North African settlements. The invading Israelites were addicted to the worship of ancient pagans, Joshua 24:14. So here's justifying it. Again, the bulk of our Carthaginian inscriptures are from the time when Israel was dominantly pagan, or after the name Yahoo ceased to be pronounced by many Jews.
Pause that right there. Look at this right here. This is from the Great Migration, page 229. And it talks about how prior to 1492, let's just say that, you fucking Europeans or Africans or anybody over there had no idea of the name of the Creator. You guys started learning about the name of the Creator until you got here. The pronunciation of the Creator, unknown in Europe until the year AD 1520.
MESHIACHA.
And you want to know something else?
Somos un ejército cautivo esperando la señal pa' comerme al enemigo. Huitzilopochtli, dime si es rival o amigo, que del ejército mexica tus guerreros siguen vivos.
We still alive. Since 1520 AD, okay, not prior to, for whatever reason, and we're reading it and we're listening to it. You guys had no idea how to pronounce that name. I thought you were so elevated. I thought you were the brightest, the most smartest. This goes for all you nations. Making our people think that we're lesser than you. Fuck all y'all, man. I'm glad that I was woken, finally, to let our gente know how special we are. And not because we think we're above anybody else. No, it's because we want just equality, just to let us prove ourselves. And guess what? We don't have to have ego, bro. The ego is not in us, man. At all. You just don't understand that type of spirit. Because all of you guys are full of ego. You brought that shit from the fucking other Western sides. That's why they call this that's what they call this continent the West mentality. The individualistic ways of the West. And what the fuck are we saying? Fuck no, man. You guys came from over there. That mentality is not belonging to us.
Hence, a very small percentage of Yahuphoric names is reasonably to be expected in Carthage. There should have been hundreds of Israelites, first and last, who did not bear Yahuphoric names for everyone that did. Again, with regards to Yahuphoric names in Palestine, it had been shown by Gray in his Hebrew proper names that ancient pagan compounds are universal in the early periods of Old Testament records. That Yahuphoric names are only 1/3 as many as El names, which is not the proper way to use it. Now, it says here in the next period that Yahoo compounds are more numerous in the last days of the kingdom, and that with decline in the use of such names, a chronicle invention of a large number of Yahuphoric names, which they place in the ancient history. In these cases, it is probable that they tried to deny their pagan past by substituting Yahoo for some ancient pagan Numen in an ancient name. So it's like, oh, let's not show our paganism. Let's change it to another pagan name. That's stupid. You see how their argument, it doesn't even make sense. Their argument makes absolutely no sense. But let me show you this real quick. I found this to be very interesting, and I think it was in this book. Where are you at? me see. I found this, and again, forgive me, family, if I don't have this book with me. But I want to show this to y'all. I downloaded 4 pages. Okay, so check this out. No, my bad. I'm gonna go on that over that on Sabbath, or your Sabbath. I cannot remember the book. My bad. We're all returned as one. Let me get to this point. Dear. Okay, here it goes. We simply do not know the providence of these Yehudites. You know the name Yehudis? Why do they use Yahoo these, but then they go Yahweh? You see, family? They only go by what they hear. They don't really study these things. It's not in their nature to. It is not in your spirit. The historical trustworthiness of Daniel and Esther is debated. Let me skip all this because it's just explaining certain things. All right. Hold on. Watch this real quick. Okay. The first here goes up regarding a tablet. We're not completely empty-handed, however. Recently, Joannes and Lemire have published 3 cuneiform tablets that are relevant. All 3 documents are dated by remarks in their colophons. The first tablet is dated year 7 of Cyrus, 532 BC. It documents Abda Yahu's receipts of 5 shekels of silver for the Ilku tax from Bunanitu, the widow of Ahiquar, the governor. The Abda Yahu. You see how he spells it? Abda IAHU compared to IHAUH, right? But it's concept, the pronunciation or the consonant is Abda Yahu, and his father Baraka Imma. Not sure what that is, but let's continue. Clearly the Udite's name. You see this? Clearly the Udite's name, or Hudite's name, or Hudahite's name. It means clearly this was a person of Israel. Of the other 10 names in this document are Arabic and 6 Akkadian. The provenance of the documents has been established. So now check this out. The transactions took place in Al Yahudu, the city of Judah. You see this? Now hold on a second. Check this out. Hold on a second. Let me see. Where are you at? Where are you, man? Let me see. Where's your name? Maybe it's the next page. Okay, so now here's another page. It says from Judean speech community in the Achaemenid Empire, page 593. And they imposed unto you to swear me an oath by Yahoo on that plot. Just particular scriptures that they found, Akkadian text, okay? Let's see here. Here goes right here. That's why when I was telling you guys about the whole this name here, this one, Nahu, or Alt, right? You guys have Nahuat or Nahua or Nahuat. That's why I was saying Yahoo, Nahu, Again, they're words. I don't know, but I just find it so relative to each other. It's as well known the Jewish community in the Persian period was dispersed in 3 areas. In addition to the Jewish center in Jerusalem, the Yehud Jews also lived in Babylonia diaspora, where the new Jewish religion was developed. The new Jewish religion, that whole other stuff, man. Because of the different compositions of the Jewish exiles settled there. Former soldiers and officials of the Judean kingdom, some of whom sought refuge there even before the destruction of the temple, continued the pagan tradition of the kingdom and built in Elephantine, the temple of God Yahoo, which was an altar known as the altar of the house of God of heaven. So we start seeing YAHU.YAHU.YAHU.YAHU. Let me see if this is the page I'm looking for. Just one name, and then that's it. You see, for example, right here, that's why when I was talking about, if you read it for what its text is, it's Delai Yahu, Del Yahu, Shema Yahu, Yeshu Yahu, Yadat Yahu, are all Yahwistic in nature. Second, there is also a variety of Acadian names attested in literature from Yehud, such as Shenazar, or Sheshbazar, or, for example, Baltazar, or Zerubbabel, or Zerubbabel. That's where it all comes from. That's started naming because of slavery. Because of slavery, you start seeing serious names and pronunciations. Now, I will say this, family. I'm not one. Oh, here it goes. Hold on a second. I found it. Was it this one? You see on the bottom it says one of the two Persian names attested, YHWHGH, features a Yahwistic name element with the Persian element Baga, God. Hence, Yahu is God. The other Persian personal name is ambiguous. Da 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 da. You see how when you start seeing certain names and changes now, Yahweh's blasphemy in the name. You see the the IAH, but then you have VE at the end. Yav, Yahweh, or Yav, right? Or IAOV, Zeus. I don't know how they get that, but I mean, I see from the what do you call it? Greek text, I guess. But Yehovah, you see how it starts saying Jehovah. You see how the name begins to really just take its turn to something else, right? And the same, all because of the Mesoteric text. They are the ones that have changed everything, including this name here, including that name there. And I'm gonna show you how. Let me get to it real quick. Now, you guys have to remember that the people that are in power right now, they claim to be certain people who we have them here and over there across the country too, across the world. These guys believe in this. Okay. So you remember that star, the 6-pointed star? That's where you get it from, Sakari. That's where you get it from. Star Moloch. Okay. And then when you have people that hold worlds in their hands, you know what I'm saying? Right? That they're holding worlds in their hands, you know? That's why you see those so-called worlds in the Moloch hand. You know, that's what it is. It's showing like they don't have they didn't put a sphere in his hands, but they wrote the sphere in his hand, kind of giving it a glimpse of the Son and the God. You know what I mean? Born again type concept. But in reality, is that he holds power of these worlds. These worlds are his, and they're in the palm of his hands. Now, I don't take those things lightly. Why should you? I mean, everybody says, "Oh, you better be righteous, Ak. You got to be righteous, Ak." Okay. What the hell is this? What does that look like? Look at the star and the worlds. Star and the worlds. Star and the worlds. So now, let me take you back here.
I want to let that shit slip. Look at this. What do you see? You see this shit? I mean, is he trying to like what the fuck? What are we doing here? Is this Jesus now? Jesus holding the two worlds in his hand, right? That's esoteric shit. No matter how the fuck you see it, that's Freemasonry right there, fam. I mean, come on, man. Come on, bro. Straight up free fucking masonry. You don't think these guys are in a come on? I mean, seriously, at this point, and none of their shit that they're saying is real. I mean, they can try to debunk me, and that nobody ever tries to step up. We can just take to Deuteronomy 28. That's like the easiest chapter to fucking break them in pieces. It's the easiest chapter, and it's the first one they run to. That's why they don't show up to this channel. That's why they don't show up to this channel, because the chapter that they love to preach on is the easiest one for me. You want to start there? Are you sure? I would rather like take you through another place and, you know, let's show you the bigger picture. Because if we just start there, then, you know, the mic will be dropped real quick. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard. Look at this shit. Are you telling me now all of a sudden everybody's going to ignore it? Did anybody miss this fucking picture? Or is it just like, what are we doing, man? All you so-called fucking raza that's in these fucking rooms that you taking your kids. What is he, Jesus, bro? Are you serious? Shazam. If that would be. You know what? If he was Shazam, then the world would probably not be the same. But nah, fuck no. He ain't no Shazam. He's about that fucking, you know, feria, man. He's all about that. Bro, listen, that's all it's about. This dude probably is about more. He's a millionaire now, bro. I'll tell you that right now. We gods though, dog. Yeah, you know, we gods in the world. Yeah, that's who they are. They wanted the money, bro. They wanted the fucking feria. They got it, man. And it's all good.
The star in the world. Star in the world. Star in the world. So now, let me take you back here. This way. Roll down. All right, here it goes. This is from Bible Dictionary. Okay. I want to first talk about this here. Baal. Baal or Baal or El. Okay. I don't need to get much into it. You guys know what this is about. Okay. Now, in case any of you guys have seen this name, Hyksos, don't believe anything of that BS. So some so-called writer Manethos wrote and made this whole heretic theory about the Hyksos ruling Egypt and shit. But yet, if you read Josephus clearly broke him in half. Matter of fact, even that dude talked about this on that class. What's his name? When he talked to Sakari, man. He even said that. He knows about this. It's a Josephus wrote a book. He's got two books, but he wrote a small one, Apion, something like that. Real thin. It's like what, 15 pages. You guys can read that in like an hour. Anyways, so whoever you guys, if you see that, you know, it's no big deal. But again, Baal. You see how it says on the bottom, the daughter of the heathen kingdom of the Zidonians, the worship of Jehovah was almost supplanted by that of Baal, but Jehovah is that much different. So now on the bottom, you see where it says, on the bottom it says this, El. It's Semitic language, Aramaic, Ella, Arabic for Elah, Akkadian Elu, right? But now if you get more into it, 200 times in God, 200 times for God. The name of the chief god of the Canaanites was El, as the Ras Shamra. Remember Israel? The Hebrews borrowed this word from the Canaanites. El has a plural, elim, il, you know, like alcohol. Okil. Occasionally, ilhum or ugaritic, but the Hebrews needed no plural, though a plural term, Elohim, was their regular name for God. No, that's not true. You see that? You see this, family? Who gave us Elohim? The Masoretes, the converts, the infiltrators, because the name doesn't pertain to them. So they did everything to wash it. The root from which El was derived has been much discussed. Jessenius held that El was from WL to be strong, and that many had accepted this view, supposedly. Kittle viewed the preposition of El to be in front of. Okay, here goes. In combination with the root Allah, to which El belonged. So El is Allah or Kabbalah at the end of the human seeking. Now, on the bottom it says Canaanite god El was the father of men and gods. You Canaans keep showing up, man. You see L, L, L. Okay. Now, check this out. We're gonna go back. Remember, back, forth, back and forth, and I take you back and then bring you back forward. You know that. Okay, so we're going back now. We went from El to Ra, or Israel, Ra-Ri, a masculine deity. Remember, Ra, a masculine deity in the pantheon of gods of Egypt.
Who are you?
He stands within the circle of the creation myth. Creation is viewed as a procreation on the part of the male and his female. The ancients, unlike the nation of Israel, drew no line of differentiation between the brute force of nature and their deities. Wow, bro. Let me see what it says. Elef is as in Al-Him. I gotta look up the word. I haven't studied Elohim just yet, bro. I know that the translation that they use is Elohim, but it's Greek. I'll look into it. If you have some info, man, you know how to get a hold of me. Send it to me or email it. I'd like to read more about it. Again, man, I'm opening this up so we can all really dissect this in a sense together. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm not saying y'all, you guys are adults, man. My suggestion is take heed to what I share, dissect it, study it, meditate, pray on it, fast on it, and if it makes sense to you, keep it. Keep it, But I want to learn more about that, bro. We're getting deep in this, bro. We're peeling these things. Listen, family, we didn't go around Africa. We're not part of no stupid 12 chart because that is the dream, okay? We're not Africans, okay? We don't look this way because we mix with some other people. That's stupid, all right? No, none of that, okay? Abraham came out of the Ur of the Chaldees, all right? Shem is on that continent over here on that side, like east, Mediterranean Sea. Africa's in Africa. Europe is in Europe. Stop trying to stretch your arms into things that don't pertain to you. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue to study, and what I'm showing and learning, I'm going to show it to y'all, my family. And those that hear me is because that's my family. That's really the case. The ancients, unlike the nation of Israel, drew no line of differentiation between the brute force of the nature. Hold on a second. In fact, the elemental forces of the nature were the deities whom were assigned personalized names. Re was thought to have engaged in a fierce battle against the dragon of chaos and darkness. Wow. The struggle was repeated yearly or even daily in the ceremonial lethargy of Egypt. Yet life was not recorded in such tragic fashion as was in Mesopotamia. Let me skip that sentence. The primeval hill upon which Re holds sway emerged from the floor of the ocean chaos. Creation stems from the sun. In later times, Re came to be referred to as Amen-Ra or Osiris. Oh no! Don't even trip, bro. Don't even trip, man. I got you, dude. Don't trip. But I do want to. If you have material on it, show me because I do want to hear more about that. I'm learning these things. First things, I like to take things in steps. Right now, I'm peeling this layer. Yahweh is not the name. YAHU.YAHU.YAHU is not the name. Barakatah, all of that stupid shit. Shut up. Y'all are just Canaanites in your minds thinking you're Israel. Deal with it. Re came to be referred as Amen-Re or Osiris and other such names. In the Mysteries religion, he was designated as Sater Theos or a savior of God. You see this, family? So we tackled R and E. Now, I want to tell you something. The book that I have about the Druidism talks a lot about L and L. L and L. L and L. So we said L, we saw Ra. Now let's look at Ish. Now we're gonna, now since I've shared some stuff with you, I think you guys are gonna you're gonna start seeing it. Okay, so now let's listen to this. Yishba, remember Ish like Israel, right? Or Is. In this case, I got to be here because I didn't find anything else. Israel. So watch this. Ishba or Ishba, Yishba, a member of the tribe of Judah. What the hell? Check this out. Ishbak, a name in the list of sons of Abraham. Ishbi, a giant slain by Ishbishia. Okay. Ishbosheth, the fourth son of Saul. Originally called Ishbaal, man of Baal. Was he evil? I don't remember reading about him. Forgive me. Okay, so we got one on the bottom, I believe. And it says Ish. Here it goes right here. Or Ishi. There it goes. My husband. Remember, he said, you'll call me Ishi? Okay. A symbolic term expressive in the ideal relation between Yahu and Ishi Yahu. Okay, now here, check this out. Here's why I'm saying it that way. Ishi, a man of Judah. Ishia, Yishia, or Yishiyahu, a man of Issachar. Yishiyahu is Issachar. Ishiyah, or Yishiyahu, a son of Harim, or Haran, whatever. Yishma, the ancestral head of the clan of Judah. Now we start seeing Ishmael. Now we see the difference. So then you go to all these other names. Look at this one. Yishwa. He will level. Ishwa-I, the third son of Asher. You see this? Ish. It's like Ish. Now let's go here. Ishmaelite, Yishmael Elam. You see, Yishmi Elam, the son of Elam. Yeah, Ish is a it is. It's a male name. Ish is a male name. Ishi is a male name. So watch this. Ishmaya, Ishmayahu. You see this? Yishmayahu. Yahu hears. Right? Ishmera. Yishmerei. Yahu keeps. Ishad. Ishpan. Ishstar. Now you understand why there's an Ish or asterisk in that name. Ishtazar. Baltazar. Like all these things change after some time. After some time, they change. Now I'm going to show you this real quick.
West.
Oh, sorry. So you can see what I'm talking about. Here, let me see if I can do this here real quick. It's a picture I put. Let me see if I can just find it. I hope I'm, hope this is edifying, family. Hope this is making sense. You know what I mean? I hope it's actually edifying for y'all, and hopefully, you guys can take something out of this. I mean, again, I wouldn't be if I really found that name was real, the Yahweh thing, I would believe it, but it's not, fam. They got it wrong, just like they've been getting everything wrong. They get everything wrong. What you want me to tell you? Check it out. This is the Al Yehudu archives picked up the story where the Bible leaves off. They found these archives. Okay, it's archives that you guys can actually look up. It's called the Al Yahudi archives or letter, composed of about 200 tablets written in cuneiform. The archive records events from the daily lives of the Hudites, exiled Hudites, from tax payments to rental agreements. You see what I'm saying? It's like this is a compound of records showing that these people who were exiled out of Jerusalem actually carried the name of their God. Watch this. From these documents, it becomes evident that the exiled Judahites were not slaves, but rather state dependents who retained their identity as a group because of King Cyrus. The latter is demonstrated by their names, which often contain the element Yah or Yahu or Yama, the Babylonian version of Yahu, meant link them with their deity, in this case Yahweh, but in proper pronunciation, Yahu. You see what I mean? Now, this archive is focus of the exhibit by the Rivers of Babylon, which opened at the Bible Land Museum, Jerusalem, February 2015. Many of the tablets were written in Babylon, at the city of Al Yahudu, the city of Judah.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
I'm not lying, family. The Most High is either dealing with you or he's dealing with you. It's pretty simple. And that's from that book, the 4 pages. Here, I'll give you guys that link. You guys can take advantage of it. Get the sources going, man. Start doing your homework. Really pay attention to the name of our Father. Because everything's on. I've always said it, man. The tables are turning. The tables have turned, and everything's on our side now. So let me show you this real quick, so you can actually understand what I'm talking about. Okay. It says here. This is on. Hold on. First Chronicles. I forget what chapter. I think chapter. Well, I don't know what it is, but I'm trying to verse 22 of some chapter. Okay, forgive me, but I'm trying to just point something out. And as far for the people that remained, verse 22, that remained in the land of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, that's how you say it, not Nebuchadnezzar, it's Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had left even over them he made. Now, you see this Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, ruler. Well, it's not Gedaliah, it's Gedaliah. Watch this. And when all the captains and armies, they and their men heard that the king of Babylon had made Gedaliah governor, there came to Gedaliah to Misma, even Ishmael, or the son of Nethaniah. You see that? Nethaniah. I was like, wait a minute. So if you go Nethaniah or Netanyahu, that's when I started seeing, oh, that's what we got. That's what we got. Because look at this right here. Benjamin, Bibi, Netan, Yahu. So I can go days. I got so much more material. First of all, we got the Lost Tribes of Myth. We also have this page where I'm not thoroughly done yet, because if you see, we also have Diodorus Siculus in 60 BC that actually said the name of the Jews, it's Yao, AIO. Really? Oh yeah. And if you see Yahu is Jeremiah, or Yahu is Isaiah, or Jonathan is Yehunathan, or Yehunathan, or like for example, Joshua is Yahoo. You understand? Yahu is the name of our father who he belonged to. This suggests that the short form of the divine name was pronounced Yahu, or like Netanyahu, like Yahoo. It's right in your face. But they don't want to tell you this. Praise Yahoo. Hallelujah. Yahoo is my strength, my song. Yahoo is my strength. Psalm 68:19. You have mounted up the heights. You make there your dwelling place, Yahoo, God, and so on. It just keeps going and going. Intervene on behalf of merciful Yahoo, equate as Yah or Yahoo, both in the Bible and outside. Then the short form Yah appears. Yah. But again, it's the name, the last part, Yahoo. Yahoo. That's why when you brothers that study Yah, like Jehu, no, not like that. Well, yeah, come on. Okay, you know in Spanish is A-E-I-O-U, U-E-I-O-A. Those are the vowels, right? A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U. In Spanish is Yao, E-I-O, Yao. But when you try to pronounce it in a particular language, so it's Yahoo, Yao, or Yao. Now, when you go into James Adair and you start breaking down these things, you start seeing how our people were actually saying it. Yahushi, Yahushia, Yahushia, or Yahushia. And when they hear it, they can't say it. So I don't know what that is. Meshiach. That's why Meshiach Chronicles was the concept. Meshiach Yahu. Now, the point is the name at the end. It's not Yahweh. It's not Yahweh Shai, Barakatah. That's not even a language. You guys are dumb. This indicates that Yah is a liturgical variant of the tetragrammaton that it can be certain cases appears together with Yahoo or YHWH. No doubt because it creates a pleasant alliteration. The two short forms Yahoo and Yah agree in that the vocalization of the first syllable is an A. And this makes it likely that this was equally the case for the tetragrammaton Yahoo. There remains then the question of the vocalization of the second syllable in the long form Yah or YHWH and of its relation to short form of YHW, which is why they agree and without any doubt that Yahoo or Yahoo would only make sense to pronounce that way because if you take the H at the end, it still pronounces the same freaking way. And so on, and so on, and so on. So we have the invention of God. We have Diosaurus Siculus. We have the Lost Tribes of Myth. And then we have this other book that I just posted to you guys right there. It's called, I don't know what it's called. I just gave it to you. So, hold on. I'll have it over here. I'll give you the name. It's called, hold on. I thought I had it here. My bad. Yeah, like Jehu. Yeah, exactly. Yahoo is he. Like Jehu is Yahoo. Yep, that was his. Now I actually look at that name. I'm glad you bring it up, bro. I'm glad you bring it up. It's actually a good point. A good point. Hold on. Where did I put it, man? The book is called. Oh, let me go up. I want to show you guys a book, man. I don't want to do that. That's just. I know I just posted it there and then don't tell you the name. Hold on a second. No. If I don't find it, I'll post it after the class. I'll try to do it. I don't remember sometimes. It should come up here now. Hold on. Best. No, I don't want to say about that. Tablet, class ideas. No. Nah. Well, I already read Al Yehudi. Carthaginian Philistines. Yep, I read that. No, I got the Amazon part. Oh, no, that's not it. Here it goes right here. Judah and the okay, it goes. It's called Judah and the Judeans in Persia, period. Judah and the Judeans in Persia, period. Okay. That's what it's called, family. This again, it's the inventions of God. There's a lot to chew on off this book, because if you actually type in, for example, Yahoo, you see 15 results, right? And he explains the same thing, page 28. Here, this is interesting. Page 14. I don't know if I showed this to y'all, but you see it, the pronunciation. I'll go back. And I'm almost done. Almost all these testimonia about the pronunciation of the tetragrammaton comes from the Christian era, apart from the Exodus 3 and most ancient testimonies, and probably to be found in a transliteration into Babylonian or Theophoric names of Judean living in Babylon or at the end of 6th century BC. These use either Yahu, Yahoo. You see that? Elongated Yahoo. Yahoo. See that, family? IAAHU. Or like how I had it here. IHUH. Yahoo. Which could correspond to Yahoo or IAO. IAO. The wa is not wa, it's wa. Yawa. See, but if you cannot, if you're like, not us, you won't be able to move the tongue like we can. That's why we can, like me personally, I can speak read in Spanish, English. I'm pretty good at pronunciations, man. So the Most High give me that gift. All praises. Anyways, these use either Yao, which would correspond to Yahoo, or Yao, which would indicate pronunciation of the divine name like Yahweh. You see what I'm saying? But again, family, if you don't know, then you just don't know. So, all right, we're done. Lord willing, this was edifying, man. I hope I didn't leave anything out. I'm sure I did. I had a lot more stuff. I think maybe I didn't. I don't know. But if I did, well, it just wasn't meant to be bringing it out. You know what I'm saying? Just wasn't meant to be bringing it out. So anyhow, other than that, I do believe I got 2 videos to show you. And then that's it. Let me show you this one. I'm to start changing our ways, family. Don't let these people Don't let these people tell us who you are, man. Stop doing that. All right, stop doing that. Hey, man, y'all need to hit the likes, subscribe, share, please. Who's the author of which one? The Invention of God. Or just text me, bro. Just text me. Just text me. You got my number. Let's listen to this, and then I think I'm done, man.
Mi vida loca me vale poca. I keep them cuates on me, ese that's 2 pistolas. 3 parts pure, 1 part baking soda. Take it out the microwave before it bubble over. Hooters on a quota, look over your shoulders. I push weight box plays, I don't sling boulders. I make moves, the kind that move mountains. My voice echo thunder, the streets stay pounded. It's Guaquera, Tijuana, La Frontera. 17.5 and I pull it out my sweater. I'm DOC, duck of the cover, yeah homes. Nobody does it better, I'm a mean go-getter. Glands of adrenaline, quick on my toes like I'm laced with a betterment. Seasoned rap veteran, I ain't got a floss. Every move that I make, let you know that I'm a boss. Asesino. Dice, mi barrio pesa, se llama Nesa. Puro pinche loco con tatuaje en la cabeza. No te metas en lo que no te interesa, porque el coyote está hambriento y está buscando presa. Sácate de esa maleza de la naturaleza. Vamos a hacer que la casa se ponga espesa. Si llego al estudio pego como Julio César. Aquí tus figuras tiemblan, alta destreza. Tengo gente que está metida en la empresa, que en la cara tienen a la muerte impresa. Están buscando poner el pan en la mesa, rifándose la limpieza o sacando la fresa. La mamá que reza porque el hijo no regresa. Ponte trucha porque te devoran si bostezas. Aquí andamos representando con fuerza para todos mis paisanos del West Side. Esta es mi ciudad, ¿dónde está mi pueblo? Apenas si me voy, quiero estar de nuevo. Que me digan dormido, si lejos me muero. Que me traigan aquí, me entierren en tu suelo. Te vas a quemar, vivimos en el fuego. No vas a aguantar las reglas del juego. Si soy lo que soy es porque te tengo. Si estoy donde estoy es por donde vengo. Cuando prenden el micrófono ya no me detengo. Saben lo que pretendo y el nivel que mantengo. Con el loop de scoop escupiendo un incendio. Hasta que Los Ángeles se vuelve el infierno. Andamos bien puestos, echándole el resto. A todo volumen con los vecinos molestos. Ritmos crudos, ritmos frescos. Para todos mis paisanos del West Coast.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. Tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros ante esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú. Tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.